Tonight we are hearing from neighbors in one northwest Knox County subdivision that due to high water are struggling just to get out of their driveway. 6 on Your Side reporter Dominic Webster went out to the Chips Crossing neighborhood to figure out how often this issue occurs. He joins us now here in the studio with more.
Bo, I spoke with 2 neighbors this evening who told me the flooding, although not to this extreme, happens nearly once a month. This most recent flooding has left standing water in the middle of Norway Street since Tuesday night. With more rain forecasted for this weekend, residents are worried of potential property damage.
My concern is the water is not going down anywhere near fast enough so that when the new rains come this weekend, what is here is just only going to increase and will now enter any number of 6 to 10 units, houses, their front doors, their garages, and people are going to be dealing with flooding.
Jeff Newman has lived in Chips Crossing for just 2 years. He said the flooding in this part of his neighborhood has gotten worse. 2.5
years that we've been here, we've probably had water like this half a dozen times, with easily 4 or 5 of them being within the last year, so it has definitely increased more recently than in the past.
One of Newman's neighbors, Thomas Mitchell, has lived in the neighborhood for less than a year. He tells 6 News he's never seen the water this high.
This section, it's puddled up a couple times, but this extent is a little bit drastic at this point. There's been a couple times where it's maybe gotten a foot, but it's drained out within the next day.
I reached out to Knox County Public Works to see if there is anything they could do to remedy these flooding issues. Jim Snowden, the director of Knox County Public Works, told me, quote, with it being private infrastructure and private road, it would be theirs to maintain and replace. Unfortunately, the county couldn't assist. With more rain in the forecast this weekend, Mitchell says he has his home as prepared as he can and hopes it's enough.
As you can see, the unit that I'm at, it's already barricaded with some flood barriers. I don't even know if that's going to help, but prepared for potentially, anything that could come into the house.
According to Newman, multiple places in the neighborhood flood when there are heavy rains.
In the houses, there's a big area that has flooded, and that funnels into this area, and this floods significantly. And from here, it then flows out the other end of the neighborhood, and that area has a big section that hasn't flooded into the streets, but there is a lot of water there that has built up and pooled.
One neighbor who declined to be on camera told me there are several retention ponds that have been built in a new subdivision behind them that are currently full. That water flows into the pipes underneath Chips Crossing, not allowing the standing water on Norway Street to recede. Bo.
All right, Dominic, thank you. And we are told the water that is there now started pooling on Tuesday, and from noon to nearly 5:30 this evening receded only a few inches.